Hello and welcome to another episode of APB Talk. I'm Witch and here is Witch Queen. Say hello to us, Witch Queen, please. Hello. So before I get into it all, let me show you the rebranded APB Talk YouTube channel. So you can see it's all APB Talk, and if you look down on the uploads, we have got loads and loads of news about APB Reloaded, your favourite games. Videos like this, Rust, not going to happen anymore. All APB. This channel is dedicated to you. But also, don't forget, I've also started a VR channel, and the first 100 subscribers are going to be immortalised on every single one of my videos. So if you do like VR, please check that out. I'm up to 47 at the moment. When I get to 100, maybe I'll do some sort of giveaway or something like that. So make sure you check that out. So let's have a look at the news then. Well, I did post on the forum earlier saying there wasn't much news, but then it turned out on Sunday, went a bit under the radar for me, that Matt Scott did post an update. So here it is. Hi everyone, running a day behind on this. In the last update I laid out 3 major areas. We continue to work on those areas this week. Unfortunately, our lead on the Login World server issue was on vacation. Now, if you remember from the open beta, the main problem they had was that people could not even get onto the open beta. They couldn't log in, they couldn't get in. So they've been working on that, and they did actually do a previous update where they said they were working on that. But despite the lead on that being on holiday, I don't know where he's gone. Maybe just staying at home. I don't know. Maybe he visited the garden. But the other team members continued to work, and they might have actually come up with a fix. So hopefully, if that's solved, open beta might not be too far away, but let's carry on. I'll need the lead to go back through the work and determine whether the analysis is correct. So, waiting for the guy or girl to come back off their holiday to check if what they think is a fix is an actual fix. Debugging work continued. The library we were working on now compiles and runs, but we're still working through errors that come up. On the multi-threading, we are still working through occlusion. That's a bit of a rabbit hole, unfortunately, due to some memory that needs to be accessible across threads. Now, I love Matt Scott's updates, they're great, but he does use a lot of words that if you don't know about programming, which I don't really, a lot of people won't know what he actually means. So it's all a bit, it could be a bit of a gobbledygook. So I'm here to try and help you sort that out. Let's have a look at the reactions to that. You can see there's 14 likes, 16 thanks, so 20 positive. We've got a confused person, 3 sad people, and 3 people who just disliked it. Not sure why they disliked it. Maybe they didn't understand it, or maybe they just think it should be ready now, damn you! So, let's just go back. You can see I've highlighted the word library. I'll talk about that in a second. First of all, multi-threaded renderer. They've talked about that a lot in the past, but let me just re-go over that. The words multi and threaded concerns how our computers, our CPUs, work these days. You might know that your computer probably has a certain amount of cores. It's kind of like in your one central processing unit, it's made up of lots of little central processing units. So if you've got a 4-core processor, it's like having 4 processors inside it that can work on different things at the same time. And these different processes, these are called threads. So when it's multi-threaded renderer, it's a renderer that can utilize all the different threads in a processor. Whereas older processors were single core or dual core and would do fewer threads, but that single processor on an old computer was technically more powerful than the individual cores on a new processor. Not all the time, but generally. So new processors are more powerful because all those little cores add up and create a bigger sum than the original CPU. So imagine that's an original CPU, but all these little computers, they all combine to be bigger and faster than the old CPU. However, the way APB works right now, before the upgrade, it's not very good at utilizing these individual cores, and it tends to focus on one and thinks, oh look, here is one CPU, but it's not a very fast CPU, not realizing it's actually a brand new one with lots of cores that should be really, really fast. So that's what they've been working on. They've been working on the game's ability to utilize all the cores on a CPU and its ability to use lots of different threads being multiple jobs at the same time, basically. So hopefully when the new upgrade comes out, the new game will be able to utilize all the different cores really well and make the game run a lot faster than it has been running. Right, back to Matt Scott's words. He says, on the multi-threading, we are still working through occlusion. That's a bit of a rabbit hole, unfortunately, due to some memory that needs to be accessible across threads. So occlusion is just the way light hits certain objects. Obviously, in a computer game, they don't have real light, so they have to program when a light comes from a certain direction, how does it interact with the scenery, and how is it where some parts are going to be dark and some parts are going to be light. That all has to be done via programming. If you know anything about the new RTX graphics cards, they're really good at doing that, and they can make something that looks makes lighting a lot more realistic than it currently is. So that's occlusion. The word library, I'm not sure he ever explained what a library was. I've done a Control F search, and you can see library does pop up quite a few times. Basically, a library in programming is just a collection of resources, basically the same as a library is in real life. The game will utilize a collection of resources that allows the game to run better. The good news about this library is that on May the 10th, an update on May the 10th, Matt Scott said, we found a new way to multi-thread using an upgrade to an existing library in the game. We had avoided doing this previously because the library was only supported on Windows, but the upgrade seems to support console now, so we took a shot. So this new library that they're using, that is working on console. Just a reminder to any console players, all this work being done on the PC right now for the PC version, as soon as it's all sorted and fixed, it's going to be ported over to console and everyone's going to be running the same thing. So technically you'd be able to have full competitive crossplay. I doubt they'll ever do it because of the whole mouse keyboard versus joypad conundrum, but people will be able to interact with each other. Matt Scott has said in the past he'd love the idea of a crossplay social, so people can share creations and meet each other and even take part in some kind of mini events. Maybe in future they could allow crossplay districts where people can drive around in a non-competitive arena doing when we're doing, you know, our crazy events like Pay to Grief or whatever. And I was pressing left, man. Whoa!
Oh!
I wish I knew how to do a clip. So back on July the 11th, we got another update where Matt Scott was talking about the crashing fixes and the multi-threading fixes, because despite the login problems, there was always the problem of crashing as well. That was a given on these beta tests. So he did say our solution was to use the newer, more powerful library that has become the industry standard for this type of work. We started implementing that library about 3 months ago, so we already just talked about that, because it's very stable and more sophisticated, with more sophisticated ways to schedule tasks and ramp up processing on more powerful machines, whilst being much more efficient on lower end machines. So the good news about that was that they were using this new library to fix all these crashes, and they also allowed the game to run better on newer machines and older machines as well. So that's pretty much where they are right now in terms of the new engine and our progress towards an open beta, another open beta. They haven't said when there's going to be one, but since they are sorting through that, hopefully when this guy comes back or girl comes back off their vacation and checks the fix is right, they can implement that fix. They've solved a few of the crashing problems, and hopefully we're going to get another open beta test very soon. So as soon as that happens and is that announced, you'll hear it here. Now, don't forget that all this news is announced on the APB forums. You can see a link up there, but I'll leave it below as well. If you go into the social district, into general discussion, there's a lot of pinned articles down here. So we've got an article about BattleEye, we've got about maintenance, we've got... Get off, go away. Get off. There we go. Tracking the engine upgrade, that's where I was getting all my information from just, and there's a lot of stuff in there. You can see that's 2 pages, and it's just 2 pages of Matt Scott. There's no replies in that. But there's also a tracking customer support. So if I go to the last page on that, you can see Matt likes to post their progress and how far they are getting through all their tickets. So it says as of today, this was last Saturday, 207 new tickets, which is dropping apparently. 421 total tickets, which is dropping as well. We are 1 ticket away from responding to tickets submitted on the 6th, June 29th. This means as of yesterday, we are responding in 18 days. So if new tickets are dropping and total tickets are dropping, that's the one we're interested in. The total tickets are dropping. That means they are now answering more tickets than they're receiving, which means eventually they're going to get down to 0, and as long as they carry on with their current rate, they will have pretty much an instant reply loop. So that's good news. So that's pretty much it from this update though. So we've talked about the fixes for the new engine, and hopefully there'll be an open beta soon, and obviously the updates to customer support. Like I said before, as soon as I hear anything, you're going to hear it here. So until next time, I've been Witch, you've been watching APB Talk. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.